Heartwarming 911 call. Little girl exposes hidden struggles at home that transformed lives forever. The chill of the night wrapped around Lily as she sat alone on the worn-out couch, the only light coming from a flickering lamp in the corner. 8 years old and already feeling the weight of the world on her tiny shoulders, she shivered, not just from the cold but from a deeper loneliness that filled her heart. Her mother, Jennifer, was working a late shift at the diner again, juggling multiple jobs just to keep a roof over their heads. The smell of burnt toast lingered in the air, a reminder of many hurried meals, the kind that left you hungry for more than just food. Lily couldn't help but feel scared. The silence of the small suburban house pressed in on her as if it would swallow her whole. She picked up her toy phone, the pink plastic feeling heavy in her hand, and after a few moments of battling the fears swirling in her mind, she dialed 911. "Help please," she breathed into the receiver, her voice trembling. That simple call, a child's plea for understanding, would set off a chain reaction that would change lives forever. When first responders arrived, sirens blaring like a heartbeat in the night, they found more than just a scared little girl. Firefighter Daniel stepped through the door, and the sight before him tugged at his heartstrings. The little girl's big brown eyes brimmed with tears, and clutter piled in the corners, the remnants of a struggle invisible to their friendly suburban neighborhood. "You're not in trouble," Daniel said softly, kneeling before her. Lily looked up, her fragile frame trembling, and for a moment, all the fears began to melt away. "This is my mom's juggling act," Jennifer confessed later that night, her voice a mixture of exhaustion and gratitude as she hugged Lily close. The two of them could feel the world shifting around them. Whispers of neighbors carried stories of their silent battles. Someone had seen the lights and sirens and stopped to ask questions, to offer help. A woman brought homemade soup, a man dropped off bags of groceries, each act of kindness weaving a fabric of support for a family in need. Before we continue, I need to let you know about something important that's happening. YouTube has been making changes to the system and many people are losing notifications from channels they follow. If you're enjoying the content, hit that bell and mark all notifications so you don't miss the next videos. And if you can drop a like, it really helps me with reach. Seriously, it makes a difference. Oh, let me know in the comments where you're watching from. I'm always curious to know who's on the other side of the screen. Now let's continue. With hearts ablaze, they rallied together, the community igniting a spark of hope, dinners shared, fundraisers planned, and support groups formed. Daniel found himself at the forefront, determined to change perceptions about poverty that had tarnished their tight-knit block. Yet, while they celebrated small victories, challenges loomed large. Their first community project, a food drive, fell short, and discontent stirred under layers of good intentions. Emotions ran high. Conversations grew tense as their failures revealed misunderstandings and judgments about each other. Jennifer headed home, feeling defeated, while Lily's faith in her neighbors flickered like an unsteady flame. Yet through the cracks of despair, an unquenchable strength emerged, leading Jennifer to a life-altering encounter with Tom, a veteran who recognized their struggles because he had fought his own. They connected over shared terrors and dreams shattered, realizing that they were not alone. Soon, the question hung over Lily's and her mother's heads: would their courage catalyze real change, or would they be forgotten like so many whispers in the wind? As the night deepened, an undeniable urgency gripped the community, propelling them to dig deeper into their true selves, and confront the invisible barriers dividing them. The pulse of their unity grew stronger, leaving a sense of anticipation, the kind that promised the dawn of a new beginning. Would they rise together, or falter in the face of their collective truths? The next day dawned bright and clear, the sun spilling golden rays over the neighborhood like the warmth of a long-lost hug. Lily awoke to the scent of pancakes wafting through the air. She sat up slowly, rubbing sleep from her eyes, unsure if this was just another dream or a sign that everything was changing. Jennifer was busy in the kitchen, her laughter and the sizzling of the pan blending together like a sweet melody that chased away shadows. "Come on, sleepyhead. Breakfast is almost ready," Jennifer called, her voice sparkling with a newfound energy. Lily hurried to the table, her heart racing with a mix of excitement and nerves. She glanced at the stack of pancakes, perfectly golden and adorned with fresh strawberries. It wasn't just food, it was a celebration of survival, a testament to hopes rekindled. They ate together, exchanging stories, accidentally spilling syrup and sharing giggles, a beautiful chaos born from love and warmth. Each bite felt like a little slice of life, tasting sweeter than it ever had before. Yet beneath the surface, an underlying current thrummed with uncertainty. What would come next? Would this joy last? Later, as the day warmed, Lily and her mother ventured outside, eager to meet their neighbors. The streets buzzed with life, children playing tag and adults chatting in groups. It was a scene that had once felt foreign but now seemed bursting with possibilities. Daniel stood at the end of the block, clipboard in hand, rallying volunteers for another food drive. "Hey there, Jennifer. Come join us," he called enthusiastically. He gestured at the growing circle of people ready to lend a hand. At first, Jennifer hesitated. This was unfamiliar territory, so much kindness felt overwhelming. But then Lily's hand squeezed her own, a simple gesture that filled her with the courage she needed. "Let us do it," Jennifer replied, joining the gathering. As they worked together, laughter and chatter filled the air. The community came alive. People shared stories, bonded over their struggles and triumphs, each connection weaving them closer together. The energy was palpable. For the first time in a long time, everyone felt hope brewing, like the dawn breaking after a long night, but not everything was perfect. Midway through their efforts, a man named Gerald, known for his bluntness, stepped forward, his face twisted in frustration. "Why are we doing this?" he asked, his voice cutting through the camaraderie like a sharp knife. "Are we just chasing our own guilt? How do we know this is really helping anyone?" Silence blanketed the group. His words were heavy, hanging in the air like a storm about to break. Lily felt a knot tighten in her stomach. She could see the worry in her mother's eyes, too. Maybe it's not just about guilt," a voice piped up from the crowd, softer than the others. It was Tom, standing with a resolve that radiated strength. "Maybe it's about being together, about understanding our neighbors. We can't pretend everything is fine. It's okay to struggle, but we can do more than just sit in silence." Jennifer's heart swelled at Tom's words. He had hit the nail on the head. This was exactly what they needed, honesty and courage to face their truths. Slowly, the group began nodding, signaling a shift. Amid the shifting tides of emotions, Lily felt a flicker of electricity. Could they really turn the tide? The moment hung delicately in the air, pregnant with tension and potential. Would they find the strength to confront their fears and build a true community, or was the weight of doubt too heavy to bear? As laughter started to ripple through the group again, Lily was left grappling with a lingering question: could they break the cycle of silence and fear and truly begin to build a future together? A newfound resolve sparkled in the sunlight as they resumed their work, but deep inside, uncertainty lingered like a shadow. What would it take to turn their dreams into reality? Would they all be brave enough to face what lay ahead? Lily's heart raced as she resumed her work. Every laugh and chatter around her felt electric, and yet there was a weight in the air, a blend of hope and fear that tugged at her small frame. She caught snatches of conversation, laughter mingling with tearful memories. Neighbors shared their trials, their compassion igniting an invisible flame of understanding. Jennifer noticed her daughter's thoughtful expression and leaned down to whisper, "What's going on in that head of yours?" "Mom, I can't shake the feeling that we're on the brink of something amazing. But what if we fail?" Lily's voice was barely above a whisper, her eyes searching her mother's. "You never know until you try, sweet pea. And it's okay to be scared. Just remember, we're together in this. We can face anything as a team." Jennifer's words anchored Lily, filling her with warmth. Can we really do this? She looked around at the smiling faces, friends she hadn't known a week ago but felt connected to now. There was something powerful about coming together, a force that could shake off the weight of the past. As they filled boxes with donations, an unexpected shout cut through the air. It was Gerald again, standing a few paces away with his arms crossed. "This is great and all, but have any of you thought about what's really behind this? We're just putting a band-aid on a bigger problem." Jennifer watched as the crowd turned to him, some faces reflecting uncertainty while others simmered with annoyance. Lily sensed the tension in the air again, the delicate threads of hope faltering at the edges. "I get that," Tom chimed in again, his voice steady. "But let us not dismiss this moment. Helping each other matters right now. Let us just be here for our neighbors first. We can tackle other issues together later." Gerald shook his head and stepped closer, unrelenting. "But what's the point if we're not addressing the root causes? Our community's about to break apart at the seams." Lily felt a lump in her throat. Was he right? It was all so overwhelming, and it felt like their joyful bubble was being pricked by reality. "Maybe," she spoke up, surprising herself and the crowd. All eyes turned to her. "Maybe we can find a way to help in both ways. Start here and figure things out as we go." The air sparkled with surprise, shifting like a kaleidoscope of emotions. Jennifer smiled at her daughter, pride swelling in her chest. She had no idea where the courage had bubbled up from, but it was there, shining bright. "Yeah!" someone shouted, the energy of the group shifting again. "Let us do what we can and build from there." A roar of agreement ignited the crowd, and Lily felt the weight lift as laughter and chatter swelled again. The tension began to dissipate like mist in sunlight, replaced by a growing sense of purpose. As they continued their work, filling box after box, Jennifer caught sight of Daniel's watch. "Okay, folks. Time for a quick break. Let us grab some water and regroup." Everyone drifted toward the shade together, community forming with every step. "Lily, you really spoke up," Jennifer murmured, nudging her daughter's shoulder. "That took guts. I'm proud of you." "It just felt right," Lily replied shyly. "But do you think it's enough?" Before Jennifer could respond, a siren blared in the distance, cutting through their moment. The distant sound grew louder, and Lily's stomach knotted with a sense of foreboding. As they all turned to see the flashing lights, each face reflected a different emotion: worry, curiosity, fear. What could be happening? It felt like a storm gathering, tinged with mystery. What had they really uncovered in the process of getting to know each other? And would this call, this interruption, lead to better understanding or deeper divides? Lily's pulse quickened, a tempest brewing within her as the siren wailed on. The siren grew louder, cutting through the joy that had hung in the air just moments before. Lily's chest tightened. She looked around at her neighbors. Each one wore a mask of concern, leaving her to wonder what had taken a turn for the worse. "Stay close, sweet pea," Jennifer said softly, holding Lily's hand as they approached the source of the commotion. A small gathering formed just outside the community center, where a fire truck and an ambulance now stood parked, lights flashing. The mood shifted palpably, like a sudden chill in the air. "Do you think someone is hurt?" Lily's voice quivered, her grip tightening on her mom's hand. "I don't know, but we need to stay calm," Jennifer replied, her voice steady despite the tremor of worry within it. As they edged closer, Lily noticed familiar faces among the crowd arrayed with shock and whispers, a tapestry of confusion interwoven with concern. Then, she saw Mrs. Thompson, the elderly widow who lived 2 doors down, sitting on the curb. Tears streamed down her cheeks. Lily started to feel a sense of dread rising in the pit of her stomach. Mrs. Thompson was the kindest person she knew, with a gentle smile and the best cookies. It didn't seem possible that something could happen to her. Just then, a paramedic emerged from the back of the ambulance, his face serious yet calm. "Is there a family member here?" he called out, scanning the crowd. "Family member?" Lily's heart dropped. Barbara, the local librarian, stepped forward, her hands trembling. What's happening? Is she okay? The paramedic motioned for her to follow him. We're assessing her now. It's an emergency, but we need to work quickly. Please have a seat, we'll keep you updated. Lily felt her breath hitch. Emergency? What if it was serious? She glanced at her mother, who squeezed her hand tightly, trying to offer a semblance of comfort amidst the chaos. Maybe it's just a fall or something small? Jennifer suggested, trying to mask her own fear with hopeful thoughts. As they watched the frantic motion of the first responders, Lily couldn't shake feeling like something bigger was happening in their community. All their discussions about connection, compassion, and supporting each other seemed to collide with this stark reality, the reminder that life didn't always follow a neat script. Do you think everyone here feels the same way we do? Lily mused aloud, her mind racing. Maybe they're feeling alone, or scared too, just like us. That's very possible, sweetheart. Jennifer's voice softened. In times like this, people come together. Sharing in their fear can lead to even more strength. Suddenly, the thought struck Lily like a bolt of lightning. What if we made a plan? After this, we should talk about getting everyone to share their stories. A real discussion, not just this gathering. Lily, that's an incredible idea, her mother exclaimed, pride beaming through her worry. As the paramedics continued their work, a whisper circulated through the crowd, exchanging quiet fears and hopes. The atmosphere shifted from anxiety to a tentative solidarity, sparks of understanding igniting amidst uncertainty. Then, Lily caught Mrs. Thompson's eye as a paramedic helped her rise from the curb. The old woman offered a shaky smile despite her tears, holding out her hand, welcoming their silent strength in the face of fear. Lily's heart swelled with determination. Maybe this was a sign, a turning point for the community, a call to action, but just as hope surged within her, the loud chatter of the crowd jolted her back, echoing her previous worries. What if it's not enough? What if they don't share? What if this is just a moment? As thoughts roiled in her mind, she looked back to where her neighbors stood, faces empowered with resolve, yet deeply marked by the uncertainty that lingered in the air. What would it take for true change to happen? Would this moment break them apart, or draw them even closer as they began to understand each other's hidden struggles? The siren's fading echo mirrored the question lingering in Lily's heart: could they truly unify against a storm, or would this chapter end in quiet despair? The air buzzed with tension as the crowd strained to catch snippets of information. Lily could feel the weight of worry thrumming beneath her skin, a frantic energy coursing through the community as they waited. Each face around her was a mirror reflecting her own unease, and she found comfort in knowing they were all in this together. "Mom," she whispered, her voice barely above a breath, "what if we're not just scared for Mrs. Thompson?" "What do you mean, sweet pea?" Jennifer replied, crouching down to meet her gaze. "I mean, what if everyone else has their own worries, like us? Like things hidden away? What if this is just a spark?" Lily's words hung in the air, heavy with possibility. Jennifer looked thoughtful, her brow furrowing. "You might be onto something, Lily. Spark can lead to a fire for good or bad. But if we can't share, how can we ever heal?" As they stood there, grounded in conversational intimacy amidst the chaos, the paramedics continued to work. Their movements were brisk but purposeful, a rhythmic dance of urgency and care. Every so often, a hushed sigh would ripple through the crowd, a testament to shared fears knitting them closer together. Then, without warning, Mrs. Thompson was brought over on a stretcher, her frail body looking even smaller against the backdrop of the vibrant community center. Concern washed over the onlookers as her eyes darted around, searching for familiarity. When they met Lily's gaze, a glimmer of recognition sparked, even through her exhaustion. "Lily," Mrs. Thompson called weakly, her voice full of warmth despite the situation. "You're a good girl. You keep your heart strong." The weight of her words settled over Lily, a blend of comfort and obligation. It felt like Mrs. Thompson was passing down a torch, one that illuminated the darkness of uncertainty surrounding them. "Can we help her?" Lily asked, glancing back at her mother. What if we start a group to check on everyone? Like a buddy system? Jennifer's eyes lit up in understanding. That's a brilliant idea. If people started sharing stories, we might find out just how connected we really are. You're right, sweetheart. We need to show them they're not alone. Encouraged by her mother's support, Lily's heart soared. As the paramedics loaded Mrs. Thompson into the ambulance, she called out, "We love you, Mrs. Thompson. We'll take care of each other." The paramedic shot her a grateful smile, his eyes shining with appreciation. He turned back to the crowd, rallying their spirits. "Folks, we'll have updates soon. Thank you for your patience." With that, the crowd murmured, quieter now but still pulsing with tension. Suddenly, a man at the edge of the gathering stepped up, his expression a mixture of anger and concern. "This isn't just about Mrs. Thompson. What about all the other older folks here? We need to be looking out for one another." The crowd stirred as others began to speak up, sharing their thoughts, their worries. Narratives of fear layered with strength branched out like wildflowers seeking sunlight. Lily watched as her small idea began to bloom, the seeds of connection taking root in a once fractured community. She felt the energy shift, the air thickening with determination. It was more than a moment, it could be the beginning of something powerful. As the voices rose, vibrant yet tinged with raw honesty, Lily's heart raced. Could a simple conversation reveal the unseen struggles that had kept them apart? Would the foundation of their neighborhood be rebuilt on the mutual understanding of their shared humanity? But lives don't always transform in neat packages. Just as hope blossomed, the ambulance's doors closed, and Lily sensed a new layer of anxiety creeping in. Was the change they were seeking truly possible? Or was it too late for some? The crowd began to disperse, leaving Lily and her mother standing on the periphery. What path lay ahead? "Mom, what if I reach out first?" Lily asked, her voice trembling slightly. As they stepped back into the fading light, the day's events hung overhead like a cloud heavy with both worry and possibility. Would they find the courage to connect, to uncover everything that lay beneath the surface? She took a deep breath, steeling herself for whatever might follow. In this time of need, they were about to face challenges that would test the very fabric of their community. Would they be ready for what awaited them just around the corner? The following days were a whirlwind for Lily and her mother, as whispers of connection skittered through the community like dry leaves rustling in the wind. Every morning, Lily would wake up eager yet anxious, shuffling to her kitchen table piled high with notes, supplies, and her growing list of names. Each name held a face, a story, a worry waiting to be shared. Jennifer watched her daughter's determination bloom. It reminded her of the blooms in their backyard, vibrant yet delicate. "You know, sweet pea," she said one evening while sipping tea, "sometimes even the smallest seeds can turn into the strongest trees. You're planting something beautiful here." Lily smiled but looked serious. "Mom, it feels like there's so much to do. I'm just one person. What if it's not enough?" "Every great movement starts with one person," Jennifer reassured her, placing a hand on Lily's shoulder. "You're not alone. We're in this together." The next day, with her mother's encouragement ringing in her ears, Lily decided to put a plan into action. She put up flyers around their neighborhood, inviting anyone interested in creating a support group to gather at the community center that Saturday. Her little heart raced with excitement and fear when she hung that first flyer. What if no one showed up? As the week passed, Lily couldn't shake her nerves. She wondered if people would see the value in opening up. It was risky. Heartfelt stories might bring healing, but they could also expose hidden scars, and she wasn't sure everyone was ready for that kind of vulnerability. The day arrived, and the sun cast a soft glow over the community center. Nervously, Lily stood at the entrance, her palms sweaty as she adjusted the banner she had made. "We're stronger together." Written in bright crayon colors. One by one, faces began to filter in. Some were familiar, a neighbor from 2 doors down, a woman from her school, even the grumpy old man who always sat on his porch. Others were new, people she'd only seen in passing but never spoke to. "Thank you all for coming," Lily said finally, her voice shaking slightly but full of resolve. "I know things have been hard lately. We're here to share, to listen, and to help each other out. You're not alone." When she finished, silence washed over the room. But slowly, hands began to rise. One woman spoke up about her struggles with her aging father. A man shared his fear of losing his job and what that could mean for his family. With each story, the air shifted. Words flowed like water breaking through a dam, carving paths through uncharted territory. Each small confession strengthened the bonds forming among them, weaving a tapestry of shared experiences and newfound courage, but just as the atmosphere filled with warmth, a shadow flickered. Someone at the back of the room muttered loud enough for everyone to hear, "This is ridiculous. What's this even going to change?" The room went still again, a heavy tension settling over the crowd. Lily's heart raced as she sensed doubt clinging to the air. Her eyes widened, and she stepped forward. "It can change everything. Just look at us. We're finally talking. We're finally sharing. Isn't that worth something?" The challenge hung there for a moment, and then a murmur of agreement began to ripple through the crowd. Her voice turned shaky but strong, as she added, "Everyone has something hidden, and we can help each other find ways through it. Let's not let one person's negativity hold us back." The mood began to shift once more, determination igniting like fireflies catching the right breeze. And just like that, the tide turned, but outside, unseen to Lily, a dark figure lingered on the edge of the gathering, their expression unreadable. What if this meeting didn't just attract support but also unwelcome attention? What secrets lay hidden that had yet to be exposed? Would this newfound strength come at a price? As the conversations deepened inside, Lily couldn't shake the sense that change was coming, both inspiring and possibly dangerous. Would they be strong enough to face whatever came next? The energy in the room pulsed as voices began to rise again, weaving a comforting blanket of shared experiences. Lily felt a warmth spread in her chest, hoping this was the moment that would spark true connection. As the stories flowed, she saw heads nodding, eyes glistening with empathy. Healing was starting to unfold, but beneath that brightness, uncertainty flickered in her mind. Outside, the figure lingered, casting an unsettling shadow. Who were they? And what would it mean for her little gathering? With each confession shared within the walls of the community center, Lily grew more emboldened, fueled by the raw honesty everyone offered. "You know," she said, her voice soaring above the murmur, "it's okay to feel lost. We're all navigating something. We can lean on each other for strength." She was met with encouraging smiles, sparks of hope flickering everywhere. Even the grumpy old man raised a hand, and when he spoke, his gravelly voice broke before he could say anything. This is harder than I thought. I always kept things to myself." Worry passed through Lily. She squeezed the edge of the table for stability. What if this was one big mistake? But there was beauty in vulnerability. The kind she was watching unfold right now. They were embracing their scars, identifying their struggles, and perhaps, healing together. "Let us be there for each other," said Jennifer, standing beside Lily and gazing at the crowd. "Sometimes, the hardest part is just talking about it. You are not alone, even in your darkest moments. Together, we can help light the way." The crowd exploded with agreement, the words washing over Lily. Hope began to blossom, and she could see the change in each person as they felt safe enough to open up. Laughter bubbled alongside tears. It was a beautiful mess of emotion, but then, a loud thump echoed from the back of the room. All heads turned momentarily, startled, and the figure she had sensed earlier stepped into the light. It was a boy, maybe a year older than her, his face drawn and carrying a storm of emotions. "What are you all doing?" he challenged, eyes blazing. "Sitting around and crying about your problems? Do something about it." The charge in the air shifted again. Tension rippled through the crowd. Lily's heart flipped. Who was this kid, doling out criticism like candy? Sometimes talking is the first step, Lily said, her voice steady, willing herself to maintain the momentum of the moment. It doesn't mean we're not doing anything. Sharing our struggles makes us stronger. The boy crossed his arms, skepticism written all over his face. And what if the next time you need help, no one shows up? All this chatter isn't going to change anything. That stung. The room fell silent again, as doubt began to creep in. It was as if he had thrown a rock in their peaceful pond, breaking the surface and sending ripples of discomfort across the faces around her. But then, another voice broke through, this time from a woman in her 50s who had been listening quietly. You're right. We need action, not just talk. But don't underestimate the power of sharing. It shows we're here for one another. A few in the crowd echoed agreement, breaking the growing tension. Hope began to re-emerge like stubborn green shoots through winter soil. Lily looked at the boy, determination in her expression. What if we use what we share here to take action? What if together, we find a way to help those who are struggling more? He hesitated, caught off guard by her response. The crowd leaned in, waiting, sensing the possibility of something bigger emerging from their conversation. Outside, the dark figure remained, interest piqued by the unfolding tension within. They observed with narrowed eyes, intrigued and wary simultaneously. Lily's heart raced again. What was stirring in the community? And who was that boy really? As the dynamics shifted, she could feel the winds of change on the horizon, but at what cost? And just like that, amid the undercurrents of hope and doubt, one question clung to Lily's mind: would this meeting spark real change, or expose deeper divisions they weren't yet prepared to face? The boy stared at Lily, eyebrows knit together as if her words were an unexpected riddle. His tough exterior softened just a fraction, revealing a glimpse of curiosity beneath the armor he wore. And how do you propose we do that? He asked. The challenge in his voice was still there, but it was laced with an undercurrent of something else, questioning maybe, or a flicker of hope. Together, we can brainstorm ways to support others, Lily suggested, her heart pounding. We can reach out to local shelters, organize a fundraiser, even provide meals or clothes to those who need it. We can channel what we feel into something tangible. A collective murmur of agreement rippled through the group. Shifts in posture were evident, more people leaned forward, eager to engage. Lily felt the energy pulse again, filling the room with a dynamic mixture of trepidation and excitement. This was the spark she had hoped for. The grumpy old man spoke up again, this time with a steadier breath. What if we start a group, a committee? His voice was stronger now, empowered by the gathering's support. Find a way to meet regularly, decide on projects, address what our community needs. Great idea. Jennifer chimed in, enthusiastic. We can create a schedule, share our resources. It can be a place where we connect and act, not just talk. Lily glanced at the boy. She was sure he was still unconvinced, but his expression had shifted. He seemed intrigued now, the fire dimming to a thoughtful glow. This can't be just empty words, he said, giving the gathering another once-over. People need real help. Yes. Someone from the back shouted. Real help. Let us not just talk, let us do something about it. The crowd erupted in various affirmations, a chorus of ideas bubbling to the surface. One by one, voices climbed over each other, sharing visions of what they could accomplish. Lily felt her heart swell with pride, seeing their vulnerability turn to determination. As the discussion grew more animated, Lily noticed the dark figure outside. It hadn't moved, but a certain intensity hung in the air, as if they were waiting for a moment to pounce. Curiosity thrummed through her. Was it caution that kept them at bay, or something more sinister? Everyone. Lily raised her hands, calling the gathering back. Let us focus. We need to keep our eyes on the goal. If we can channel this energy now, we can make a real difference. The voices diminished into murmurs, the space becoming more controlled, yet electric with possibility. What do we call ourselves? A young woman piped up, her smile infectious. A movement, if you will. Hope on the horizon. Someone else suggested, and laughter erupted at the clumsiness of it. The boy who had challenged her earlier, now serene, grinned for the first time. Maybe we could just skip to the action and call ourselves doers? That earned a ripple of laughter too, a vital reminder of unity even when tensions could rise. Lily's heart hammered. This was so much more than a conversation now. It was a declaration. But just as the air turned electric with inspiration, a loud crash echoed outside, breaking the rhythm of their moment. The crowd froze, eyes darting toward the door. What was that? Lily whispered, dread creeping into her stomach, her instincts flaring. And before anyone could react, the door swung open violently, revealing the dark figure. In the doorway, they stood unexpected, presenting a new twist to the evening. Lily's mind raced. What did this mean? Would they interfere with the fragile progress they had made? With her heart pounding and the crowd's collective breaths held, all eyes turned to the shadow that had loomed so long without entering. She felt a question bubble in her heart: would this be their moment of truth, or the unraveling of everything they had just stitched together? The figure stood in the doorway, cloaked in shadows, their face hidden from view. The crashing sound still echoed, stirring the anxiety swirling in the room. People shuffled backward, some raising hands to shield themselves, while others instinctively leaned closer to each other, seeking comfort. "Who are you?" a man finally asked, his voice cracking just a little as he stepped forward, bravery oozing from his tone. The figure shifted, the darkness beginning to yield at the edges, revealing a young woman, her eyes wide and brimming with unspoken stories. "I am sorry for barging in," she stammered, but there was an urgency in her tone that caught everyone's attention. Lily felt an electric charge course through the air, the tension tightening like a bowstring, almost ready to snap. "Are you okay?" she asked, her instinct pushing her to be the first to step into the unknown. The girl swallowed hard, visibly shaken. "I need help." Her voice trembled but carried a weight that made her sound older than her years. "What do you mean?" The boy, the one who had once challenged Lily, spoke up now, taking a step closer to the girl. His brows knitted together, worry replacing skepticism. "I heard what you were talking about," she replied, glancing around at the wide-eyed faces. "About helping people. I need help. My family, they're in trouble." Whispers rippled through the crowd. A visible shift occurred. Lily felt her heart race, the mix of fear and hope tugging at her. "Can you tell us what's happening?" Lily encouraged gently, trying to coax the story from the girl without overwhelming her. Taking a deep breath, the girl stepped inside more fully, the door creaking ominously behind her. "There are so many of us, but not enough money, not enough food. I don't know who else to turn to." Tears pooled in her eyes, threatening to spill over. "Sometimes it feels like we're invisible." A collective gasp echoed through the room. The boy, now visibly softening, took another step closer. "You're not invisible," he said earnestly. "You found us. We can help." "But how?" she asked, vulnerability etched across her face. "People just keep saying they can't do anything. That no one cares." Lily felt a rush of determination bloom within her. "That's where we come in," she said, her voice steadier now. "If we start this group, we can make sure no one feels invisible. We will raise awareness and seek real help for everyone, including you and your family." A light flickered in the girl's eyes. "You really think it could work?" "Yes." Jennifer chimed in, her enthusiasm contagious. "We will raise our voices. We can't promise to solve everything overnight, but we will start making connections. You and everyone in your situation will be heard." The girl nodded slowly, and hope began to replace the fear. Yet, there was a lingering uncertainty. But what if it gets worse before it gets better? What if no one listens? The boy intervened again, this time placing a hand on her shoulder. We'll make them listen, he promised, his determination infectious. As the murmurs of support filled the room again, Lily felt her chest swell with a mixture of pride and resolution. That moment was crucial. They were not just talking anymore, the wind was in their sails. But as the warmth of conviction surrounded her, an unsettling thought pierced her mind. What if they had ultimately crossed a line that couldn't be uncrossed? What kind of dangers lay ahead? The girl's secret plea hung heavily in the air. The fragile thread of hope had been woven, but how would they navigate the complicated path ahead? And just then, a loud shout erupted from outside, a cry for help reverberating across the street. The noise of desperation rang through the gathering, drawing everyone's gaze back to the door, hearts racing in unison. What now? Someone whispered, fear breaking through their newfound hope. Lily's heart sank. What awaited them beyond the threshold? Would they be able to help this girl and end up managing what was potentially a larger crisis? As the crowd held its breath, she turned back to the girl, who looked just as frightened. They were standing at the edge of something big, but would they be brave enough to leap together into the unknown? The cries echoed like thunder, each voice trembling with urgency. Lily swallowed hard, her mind racing. "What's happening?" she whispered, hurrying to the door. A knot tightened in her stomach. "Everyone, stay close," Jennifer called, her voice cutting through the confusion as she led Lily back to the center, seeking safety among their newfound connections. Peeking outside, the scene shattered the fragile hope they had begun to build. A small group of neighbors crowded around a figure on the ground, a young boy, maybe 12, cradled on the pavement, tears streaming down his face. "Help! Please! He can't move!" A rush of adrenaline surged through Lily. The girl beside her, the one who had just shared her own family troubles, clutched her arm tightly. The uncertainty of who they were becoming now loomed larger than ever. They were about to be tested in a way they couldn't have anticipated. "Lily, let us move," her mother urged, pushing forward. They joined the throng, surrounded by concerned faces. Slowly, the crowd began to form a protective circle around the boy while first responders worked through the chaos. Committed to each other, they stood as a unified front, their fears mingling with a rising tide of courage. "This is our moment," Lily breathed to her mom. "We can't let them feel alone, we need to do something." Jennifer nodded, shaking off the instinct to retreat. "We need to be here, together." With newfound resolve, Lily called out to the gatherers. "Okay, we can't do much, but we can offer our voices. Let them know we're with them." Her heart raced, yet she felt buoyed by the crowd's responding murmurs of agreement. Gradually, as the paramedics focused their efforts, the gathering turned to the boy's family. "We're here for you," the girl who had shared her plea earlier said, stepping forward. "You are not alone in this." Each onlooker grabbed their phones to video or record the moment, standing united with their neighbors, amplifying their voices as one. This was more than sharing fears, this was about connection and compassion transforming into action. As the boy was loaded into the ambulance, the tension cracked like a dry branch, followed by a loud cheer, echoing through the community like a beacon. "We have to keep supporting each other," someone shouted, igniting a chain reaction of applause. But amidst the rallying cries, Lily noticed the dark figure lingering at the edge of the crowd, emotion unreadable. They had witnessed both the desperation and strength of a community. Would they reach out or retreat into the shadows? "Together, we can make a difference," Lily shouted. She felt her energy surge in concert with her neighbors, their hearts beating as one. "No more silence. Let us lift each other up and make sure every voice is heard." Her words crescendoed into a chorus of yes, echoing with conviction. No longer bound by fear, they clutched onto their shared resolve, and then a light flickered in the dark figure's eyes, recognition breaking through the stone facade. This was more than just a meeting of familiar faces, it was a celebration of resilience. As the ambulance pulled away, Lily realized that they had pushed through the confines of their doubts. The girl next to her offered a radiant smile, her eyes shimmering with gratitude, embodying the hope that Lily had dared to cultivate in her heart. "We are stronger together," Lily declared, glancing around the sea of faces. "Let us keep this going." Through spine-tingling silence mingled with a hopeful hum, this was merely the beginning. They would rally and rise together, come what may. As the group dispersed, Lily felt a gust of warmth wash over her. They had unleashed something powerful, a community woven with compassion and courage. Every voice had been empowered through the live wire of their stories, and now, anything felt possible. Finally looking at her mother, she whispered, "Did we really do this?" Jennifer enveloped her in a warm embrace. "Sweet pea, we didn't just do this, we became this." Hope flickered in every heart, a promise of unity, thriving amidst their struggles. And as they walked home hand in hand, feeling the warmth of community wrap around them like a big hug, one thought echoed loudest in Lily's heart: they were no longer just survivors, they were warriors, together ready to face whatever came next together. So here's the thing. This is the moment to show your support. You need to subscribe now to the channel and never miss another powerful story like this again. Leave a like now to feed the algorithm and push this message of hope out to those who need it most. Comment your thoughts and feelings about this ending, I can't wait to hear from you. And don't wait not even one more second to share this video with at least 5 friends who need to see this transformation. Your support helps build a brighter future for us all.